Hey everyone, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the seriously murky and honestly sometimes downright terrifying world of Square account shutdowns and payment processor freezes. If you've ever had that cold sweat worrying about your business's financial lifeline getting suddenly cut off, well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to break down exactly why these shutdowns happen, the hidden triggers you need to watch out for, and most importantly, how to actually secure the lifeblood of your business. Just picture this for a second. You wake up, grab your coffee, open your laptop to check your dashboard, and start the day. But instead of seeing yesterday's hard-earned sales on their way to your bank account, you're hit with a giant red banner. Your revenue has literally ground to a halt. Zero explanation, just stopped. It is sheer panic, right? Operations freeze up, fulfillment stalls, and that cash flow you desperately rely on is just gone. It's an absolute nightmare scenario. But for a lot of businesses running on mainstream payment processors, it's a very real threat. Okay, Section 1, the payment freeze panic. Let's dive into what this actually looks like on the ground. When we say shutdown, we're actually throwing around a pretty vague umbrella term. A processor can restrict access to your money in a bunch of different ways, all buried in their terms of service. It might mean a total account deactivation, like you just can't process payments anymore, period. But it could also look like unexplained payout delays where your money is just stuck in limbo. Sometimes they'll hit you with sudden reserve requirements, basically forcing you to keep a big chunk of your own money locked away to protect them from losses. Or it could trigger this incredibly rigorous risk review out of nowhere. Any one of these restrictions can absolutely cripple a small business's day-to-day operations. Moving on to Section 2, why Square shuts accounts down. Let's get to the bottom of this. So, the crucial point we really need to understand is how massive payment facilitators actually manage their operational risk. They're dealing with millions of users, so they rely super heavily on automated systems. No human is looking at this stuff initially. There are basically four main triggers for deactivation. First up, policy restrictions. Get this, even completely legal products can get you banned if they fall under what's called high-risk merchant category codes, or MCCs. We're talking stuff like CBD, telehealth, or firearms. Second trigger, high dispute and chargeback rates. Third, verification and risk reviews, which usually happen if your sales volume suddenly spikes. And finally, transaction-level fraud signals, where the algorithm flags specific individual purchases as sketchy. Now, this totally shifts how you need to look at the whole problem. High chargeback rates equal loss exposure for the processor, so an account closure, it isn't necessarily a moral judgment on your business or some accusation that you're doing something illegal. Most of the time, it's literally just a robot responding to a mismatch in their risk models. Mainstream processors use a pooled risk model. That means if your disputes spike, it puts their money on the line, which triggers an immediate automated operational risk mitigation. And that mitigation, yep, that's your account freezing out. All right, Section 3, spotting the warning signs. Let's look at how to see this coming. Because a full deactivation almost never happens completely out of the blue. There are digital breadcrumbs, and this is the very first red flag that so many merchants completely miss when they log in. You start noticing these weird, unexplained payout delays. Maybe the funds that usually hit your account the next day are suddenly taking 3, maybe 4 days. Or worse, out of nowhere, they introduce a reserve requirement, holding back a percentage of your cash. Listen, this is their system quietly telling you that the algorithms are getting nervous. Then things escalate a bit. Warning sign number 2. Suddenly you're getting bombarded with persistent system prompts asking you to upload extra business info, entity documents, or new personal IDs. These sudden verification requests, they are not just routine housekeeping, folks. Actually, scratch that. They're the exact opposite. They're a massive, blinking warning light that the risk algorithms have flagged your profile and escalated it for closer scrutiny. And this brilliantly illustrates the final stage of the escalation process. Warning sign 3 is the last alarm before a complete freeze. You'll see an influx of transactions getting flagged or reviewed without any clear explanation. Your dashboard starts lighting up with dispute notifications, and worst of all, you'll see a sudden, sharp drop in your approval rates. Just way more declines than usual. Look, if you're experiencing this specific triad of symptoms, a complete shutdown is virtually imminent. Which brings us to Section 4, your freeze response checklist. Grab a pen, because this is crucial. If the absolute worst happens and your funds get held, these are the exact, actionable steps you need to take right that second. Rapid, organized action here can literally save your business from going under. Step 1, stop the amplification. Pause all your ad campaigns immediately. You do not want to keep driving traffic you can't even process. Step 2, preserve your evidence. Export your entire transaction history, customer communications, proof of delivery, download all of it right now. Step 3, prioritize any pending disputes to stop things from escalating further. Step 4, knock out those outstanding verification requests as fast as humanly possible. Step 5, proactively message your customers. You want to get ahead of any not received disputes while you're sorting the back end out. And finally, step 6, secure your revenue. If you can, instantly route your new checkouts to an alternative payment processor. Now, what's really interesting about this matrix is that it decodes exactly what risk reviewers are looking for when they evaluate your triggered account. It's like a giant puzzle, and you just have to know the pieces. Look at this alignment. If your freeze was triggered by dispute spikes, the reviewer's going to look straight at your refund policy. So, your fix? Clarify those policies and train your support team. If the trigger was delayed fulfillment, they want to see shipment tracking. Your fix there is providing highly realistic timelines and rock-solid proof of delivery. If a sudden volume spike freaked the system out, they're looking at your inventory and support capacity, so you need to present them with a staged ramp-up plan. It's a formula, guys, and understanding this formula is exactly how you argue your case and win. Section 5, the Adaptiv payment solution. Let's talk about fixing this for good. Because honestly, fighting constant fires and living in daily fear of some algorithm, that's not a viable business strategy. We've got to pivot from crisis management to a long-term structural fix, especially if you're in a high-risk or complex industry. Let's contrast the two totally different worlds of payment processing here. On one side, you've got payment facilitators like Square or PayPal. They basically aggregate thousands of merchants into one massive master account using a pooled risk model. And that pooled risk is exactly why they have such incredibly strict policy constraints and why they do those massive automated overnight deactivations. Now, on the flip side, you have underwritten processors like Adaptiv Payments. These guys offer specialized individual merchant accounts. Yes, the underwriting process takes a little more effort up front, but what you get is a personalized relationship, risk tools tailored to your specific business model, and ultimately a foundation of incredibly high stability. Let's look at the actual tangible advantages of migrating to a specialized provider like Adaptiv. For starters, they actually specialize in the high-risk industries that mainstream facilitators routinely ban. We're talking travel, telehealth, CBD, MLMs, and complex subscription models. Instead of just slapping you with an automated ban, they give you comprehensive chargeback mitigation, real-time fraud protection, and completely integrated dispute management. Plus, for you global sellers out there, they offer international processing so you can hold multiple currencies and dodge those massive interbank exchange fees. It's an industry-specific approach that's actually designed to protect your hard-earned cash flow rather than just covering the processor's own bottom line. A real game changer for sure. So, I want to leave you with this one provocative thought to mull over today. Take a hard look at how you're processing your payments right now. Is the absolute lifeblood of your business truly secure, sitting inside a rigid, pooled risk model where a faceless algorithm can freeze your cash overnight? Or is it finally time to take control, evaluate your infrastructure, and migrate to a personalized payment solution that actually understands and protects your unique business? The choice is entirely yours, but as we've seen throughout this explainer, the consequences of doing nothing are incredibly real. Keep learning, keep optimizing, and most importantly, keep protecting your business.